Okay, hello everyone and welcome. We have Jodi Murphy here from Regent Seven Seas Cruise Line. I'm so excited to have Jodi on. I work very closely with her with Regent, and one of the things that, as a travel advisor, that I can speak to is when someone in Jodi's role is very engaged with the travel advisor, truly partners with them. It really tells me how much they care about their brand specifically, and that they just want all of the clients to have a great experience, whether it's through us or through them directly. And I really love working with her, so I wanted to have her on. So welcome, Jodi.
Thanks, Melissa.
So Jodi, can you tell us just a little bit about your role with the company? I know you've been with Regent for a very long time, so maybe speak to that a little bit.
Sure, yeah. So I'm on my 26th year with Regent. I started in reservations and moved into inside sales and then outside sales. And so I've been in, I think, outside sales maybe around 17-ish years, but specifically with working with you, Melissa, and some other accounts since November of 2023. So I partner with the travel advisor essentially in helping you or travel advisors understand Regent, sharing with your client, and just getting Regent out there so that you can be knowledgeable and share it with your clients and help you in your business.
Yeah. And I appreciate that. I mean, you do such a great job, and I love working with you. I love working with Regent. And I think just the amount of time you've been with the company tells me just how much you love it as well,
Yes.
which I think says a lot to our audience too. So, well, thank you for that. My husband and I were on Seven Seas Mariner in December, and we had just the most amazing experience. And I think one of the things when clients are looking for luxury, which you guys clearly are, I think that can differ for some people, like what that means to them. For me, I would say, just that experience of when you're on the ship and like the people that work there, they get to know you as a person. They know the things that matter to you. They know that, oh, that couple, they really like this server at night, and I tend to be very routine oriented, so they would give me the same table every night because they could just tell that I liked it. And those things just go, I think that feels like luxury. But then obviously your accommodations are lovely, which we will talk more about. Your service is phenomenal. But the fact that I don't feel nickel and dimed, and that it's just there and covered, and of course there's always going to be some things that you can add to it if you want, but you really don't have to. You do not have to add anything because everything is really there, down to the laundry service, which I was not quite prepared for how much I would love that. But it really is nice. You go on a trip and you come back and your laundry is either folded in this nice little wrapped box or hanging in a bag for you. So you guys just do it all very well. And it makes my job so much easier as a travel advisor to recommend you, because of course it's good business for me to recommend something that I know my clients are going to love.
Yeah, it really is seamless, I think. And we hear all the time. And I was just at an event, and everybody always says luxury means something different to everyone, right? And so, like you said, our crew, they get to know your name after, the first day or so, and what you like for your drinks and what you like your food cooked. They probably, were like, how are you today, Mrs. Melissa? And just very friendly. And our loyal past guests, and we have very loyal past guests, they love that because it is a real family feeling. But I think that, another thing is just that all-inclusiveness, not having to get a card out, even if you have a package. But then the ships being small, even if they're a full, and which I think your cruise was sold out,
it
doesn't feel full. There's not people everywhere all of the time. And And another thing is that, I get a lot, well, people like luxury, but they don't need the ships and all the gold and the hardware, and they don't want to dress up. But when people don't know about Regent is you don't have to be fancy and dress up and wear ball gowns and tuxedos. We actually have a casual dress code in the evening where we allow jeans at night if guests would like to. So
yeah,
there's
and I think that's important because I think that sometimes a couple really wants to dress up. They want to make it feel special. And sometimes they're like, I'm just not, like my husband, he would not want to dress up every night. He just wouldn't want to do it. That would not feel like a vacation to him. And so I get clients like that too, that they're like, oh, do I have to travel with a coat and tie? And I'm like, you do not. And if you want to, because you want it to feel special, you absolutely can. And you will see both on the ship, and that's great. So you don't feel uncomfortable either way.
Yes.
Okay, so I've kind of selected just one itinerary because it seems to be like a classic, one that I feel like our clients are wanting to get to these locations a lot. So I wanted to talk to you about Barcelona to Rome. I think it's an itinerary that you guys do very well. But I want to talk about like what makes this different from another cruise line specifically.
So with this one specifically that you've chosen, it's very unique because it's one of our immersive overnight itineraries. And what that means to those that don't know is that there is at least one overnight in every single port of call. So you're not rushing to get out of port every evening, to cruise at night to get to a new place the next day. You really have some time to spend. And because our shore excursions are included, you can have shore excursions during the day and at night that are included. And so you get to see these destinations really in a different way with being day and night. So it's just, I think it's something that could be attractive to more guests who like to do land trips over cruises, or might have a feeling or the way they think about cruising. Maybe they think they don't like it, but this could be a good option to try even cruising for your first time, because you unpack once, you get to, wake up in new places every day. And it's the whole Regent experience is just amazing anyway.
Yeah, I really think it's the perfect balance for someone, especially if they're new to cruising or they're not, like you said, they're not sure if they even really want to do it. Because it is convenient. I mean, obviously it's nice. Even when I personally looked at, okay, maybe I'll just do a land package instead of a cruise. Just the idea that, well, I can, if I want to go out overnight and go find a restaurant, I can do that. Or I can, eat there because I'm already there anyhow. So I like that option is available on something like this, so that it does make it easier. It does make it seamless, to like your word earlier. And I think that that's something that people don't even realize is an option for cruises. I think that they think it's always just at sea, and they don't realize that there are options where you can get so much of a land component. So yes, I love that. Okay, so I want to move on to your suites, because the first time I saw one of your suites, I was just blown away. I think that they're beautiful, but like on the Mariner specifically, and I know that this is the case for other ships too, that one was recently refurbished when I went on it. And so it's like the biggest difference for me was the bathroom, the shower specifically. I was, if you think cruise and you've ever been on a cruise before, you're not used to a shower that's quite so spacious. But just tell me what your thoughts, and kind of describe something for our audience, what the suites are like.
Well, first of all, so everything on Regent is a suite, and we are 98% private balcony. So only one of our ships right now has window categories on it, but otherwise, but soon actually we will be 100% balcony, because that ship will be leaving our fleet. However, so minimum square feet, about 300 square feet, nothing inside. And I think that is a big deal. Like you said, the bathrooms, marble bathrooms, walk-in showers, walk-in closets.
Yes.
which you have tons of space in these suites, and enough that if you decided that you wanted to dine in your suite one night, you can, because there is enough space, and they will come and they'll put that white tablecloth out over your table in your suite or on your balcony, and it's comfortable. It is plenty of space for you to spend a week, or more. And of course, they get bigger. So we've got our largest suite is called the Regent Suite, and that's a 4,000 square foot suite. So, I mean, there's something for everybody, I would say, on board at Regent, but there's not a bad suite on board.
Yeah. So on the walk-in closet, one of the things I want to make sure that the listeners are understanding about this is when you typically, so 300 square feet, it feels very spacious, honestly, when you're in there, it really does. But when you have that walk-in closet and you can and they have built-in shelving and everything to stay very organized, you can put everything away so that you're not, like, it's not in your way in your room, which makes your room feel even larger. And we just, we couldn't get over how spacious it felt, especially for, the size. The size, you think about it at home, you're like, that's not very big. But when you're in there, you feel like it is a very good size, especially for a cruise, because cruise, ships aren't typically known for spacious cabins or suites. But I did not feel like that whatsoever. I felt like that was very well done. And there is not only space if you wanted to dine in your room, but for people like myself and my husband who had to work some from the ship, there was a great setup there so that we could actually work in our ship in our suite quite comfortably. Although we were also known on the ship for being the ones that were set up at one of the lounge areas working just to get some stuff done, but it was very comfortable and it was a good use of the space, so it worked out fine. But and to speak to the Wi-Fi too, I was able to actually get on and stream and do the things that I needed to do to continue to run my business, which was nice.
Yeah, and I think there's a lot of business travelers out there, or people that aren't quite retired yet, or maybe they're retired and still, doing things on the side, that you do have to work, unfortunately, while you're on vacation, but you can do that because our ships are updated with Starlink internet throughout the entire fleet.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So I just want you to touch on this because I glossed over this a little bit, and I should not gloss over this because you guys are considered, I would say the most inclusive, and so just kind of bullet point that for us as far as what that includes when people are looking at you, because I know, I just want to let's be honest here. Sometimes, people look at the dollar amount and they don't really they don't compare it side by side, and they don't look at it apples to apples. So I can help clients with that to say, oh yeah, you're looking at that number, but what you're not including is you're going to be paying for all of these things in addition, and they're already covered with Regent. So just why don't you highlight that for us?
Sure. Yep. So we say that we are the most inclusive luxury experience. And the biggest difference between us and the other partners or suppliers, cruise lines out there, is that we include multiple shore excursions in every port of call. And they're not all just a city tour, bus tour, and walking tour that are included, although those are some of them that are included. But there are some truly wonderful tours that are included. And I know that you could spend a lot on shore excursions when you get on some of these other lines and itineraries. So that is the biggest thing that sets us apart from all of the rest. And you have mentioned laundry, Melissa. So laundry is included. If you put it out every day before 9 a.m., you'll get it back that same night, pressed, folded, whatever you want it. And that is included. And that's a game changer for a lot of people, especially doing long trips. We have a butler service included in select suite categories. There's a one-night pre-cruise hotel included in select suite categories. We have a premium wine and liquor included. But some people would say, well, I don't drink, but then you drink something, because then we include bottled water, specialty coffee, freshly squeezed juice at breakfast, soda. So there's no packages that you have to purchase with that add on to your package. or your price. And then specialty dining is included with us. So again, that's a saver there. And I want to mention too that whether you're in the main dining room or any of the specialty venues, the food quality is amazing in all of them, including the main dining room. And I've noticed on other cruise lines, and I don't know what you think too, is that on other cruise lines, the main dining room food is, it's okay. It's okay. But the better quality food is where you have to pay in the specialty restaurants in order to do that. So with us, you want to look at everything. You can get on board Regent and have a zero bill at the end of the cruise. Of course, you'd have to pay for if you want a massage or your nails done or your hair done. And you can upgrade to shore excursions. So there are some that you could pay for if you choose to. But you look at that price of Regent and then look at the price of the other cruise line that you're looking at and add on those things. So give yourself the starting price and the end of the cruise price, because you'll see that it could be that the Regent price is not far off at all, sometimes better, sometimes close to what you're going to pay by the end of that cruise. And then our ships are smaller. It's a whole different experience on board than what you're going to go on anyway, whether you're in one of those upper suite categories of an exclusive area, on these other cruise lines. It's a completely different experience.
Yeah, no, I would agree. I thank you for all of that. I think it's really important for them to understand what it includes. And I am like that analytical person where I like to look at things side by side. But I know not everybody will jump to that either. So it's just good for them to hear. So, okay, so what do you recommend as far as, I know I get a lot of clients that come to me, I would say somewhat last minute to book a trip, and then they're very surprised that, a suite category is sold out, or maybe they didn't think about the fact that excursion, like the ability to book their excursions already passed, and so other people have already booked them, so they're coming in and they still can get a spot, but then some of the excursions they want are, they're waitlisted, which, by the way, you guys do a great job managing that wait list and freeing space up, so that's great. But what do you recommend as far as timing, or what are you guys seeing right now for a booking window when people should be booking for their trip?
So since the beginning of the year, we have really seen the further out, further years in advance, people booking. Our booking curve right now is around 300 days. So just, under a year in advance. And if you have a special, birthday or a big anniversary trip or something, I highly recommend booking that as soon as you can. Because typically with us, our pricing is going to be the best that it will ever be the farther in advance that you book. Of course, sometimes there are deals close in, but as you said, Melissa, shore excursions could be sold out, or your restaurant table for two might not be available until 9 p.m. However, we do work on clearing the shore excursions, and typically we can work and get you a better dining option time. And so we do our best to accommodate everybody. But if you really want what you want, the special trip, I would recommend booking at least, close to 9 months to a year in advance, if not farther. I mean, we even have our new season launch. That's our next season is summer of 28 into spring of 2029, opening in May. So and there are certain itineraries that we don't do all of the time, and people will book them and they will sell out right away.
Yeah. Yeah, and I see that too. And I think that the other part that if you want to just be mindful is if you are traveling with more than just a couple and you need more than one suite on that same itinerary, it's going to be really important to plan in advance. That way you can all get the type of suites that you want and the placement, be able to select where you want it on the ship. Just the more in advance you do that, the better. That being said, there's still availability for people that are looking for, 90 days out too. I just, got someone secured over the weekend doing that. So It's possible if you're a last minute type of person and you're a bit more spontaneous, that is absolutely possible with them as well. But if you know that you're the type of person that, no, I definitely want this suite, then you really want to plan in advance to make sure you get the spot that you want.
Yep.
Okay, so I wanted to talk about, you guys do a really great job with solo travelers. And I saw this before I actually traveled with you guys. And the reason I say I saw it is I can tell when a brand is actually really focused on making that a great experience by the fact that you'll have promotions for them, the fact that you have, like a special group for them on the sailing. And so that tells me that you care and you're trying to do the right thing. Now, when I went on Seven Seas Mariner, in December, the very first person I met on the ship was a solo traveler. And she and I talked, and we ended up connecting like the rest of the trip. Wherever we were, we ended up running into each other talking. And she travels with you guys quite often. And she loves you guys. Now, in her situation, she was suddenly traveling solo because her husband passed away. And I think that's why I have such a heart for solo travelers, because, they still want to travel. And sometimes it's really hard for them from a budget standpoint, but you guys do such a good job. So talk to me about just the environment that you try to create on the ship for a solo traveler.
Sure. So solo travelers, though, it could be that they just want to travel and their husband doesn't want to travel.
Sure.
There's so many things, or ladies' trips and whatever celebrations. But the solo traveler program is amazing. And every night, when they arrive, they get a letter in their suite that invites them to the solo travelers get together. And that's every single night of the week. So we will introduce them to all of the other solo travelers on board. We then can set up dining with or for them with other solo travelers. I've heard that then they might even have a better opportunity to sit with part of the staff on board. So maybe part of the entertainment crew or the captain. They just get treated. Everybody gets treated special, but these solo travelers, they're alone. So we make sure that they're not alone, and they have the option to opt in or to not opt in. So it's completely up to them. But we have quarterly updates with our single supplement special rates. So we have rates that are discounted for singles farther in advance, because we understand that, it may not be your choice to travel solo, and not everybody can afford to pay double when traveling solo. So we have itineraries and cruise options for solo travelers as well. But I've been told it is a wonderful program, and people really enjoy it.
Yeah, and I think that's an important point that you made, is that because if you're talking to someone like me, I'm a very independent person. If I travel alone, I'm completely fine being alone. It does not bother me at all. But I know that there are people that are very, very social, and they go and they want to meet other people, and they want to get to know everyone on the ship. And so the opt-in portion, I think, is important to highlight for people that are traveling. So it really can work for either personality type. If you're very extroverted, they're going to pull you in and get you involved and help you to meet other people. But if you're a bit more introverted and you want to do your own thing, they're not going to force you to do anything. So I think that's great that there's the balance for both types of people that want either or.
Yes. And I actually have a story, though, with another one of my advisors. She had her single gentleman client sailed. His wife had passed away, sailed on a Regent cruise. And when he returned home, she's, reached out, "Are you ready to book your next cruise?" And of course he said yes. He said, "But I met somebody." And he met another single lady who also had lost her husband. They were just friends, at the time. And, but they ended up keeping in contact and got engaged on their next Regent cruise. And then they're going on their honeymoon on the next Regent cruise in 2027. So,
Wow.
so it brought them together, and
That's
it's
wonderful.
a good story.
Yeah. That's a great story. Thank you for sharing that. I love that. Okay, so before we end today, is there anything else that we didn't touch on that you think is important for the audience to hear?
I would say, just to reiterate, the value of Regent is, it is truly a wonderful value when you look at everything from start to finish, again, with everything that we include. I want to say that, we say that we are upscale, not uptight, hassle-free, worry-free, and how cruising is meant to be. So a lot of people think on an ultra luxury or luxury cruise line that people are very pretentious and it's a very different environment, when not at all. And you can speak to this, Melissa, because every time I'm on board, the guests are, I like to say that they're everyday people, just like you and I. They just love having that experience, that small ship experience, that they don't have to get out a card. It's just included, and they meet like-minded, well-traveled people just like them. And I love it. I just love it.
Yeah. Yeah, we had some amazing conversations. We met wonderful people. It was, and it, you spoke about the ship size earlier and the fact that it was sold out, but it didn't feel overcrowded. You can find spots where there's no people and you can just be alone. You can find the spots in the evening if you want to be in the lounge with more people, you can do that. But I never felt that feeling of like it's cramped or crowded or anything like that. It felt very, very spacious the entire time. So yeah, we really enjoyed that. Okay, so guys, I have up here in the top corner the QR code to follow us on YouTube, but we also now are on all the major platforms for podcasts. So you can follow us on Apple or Spotify or Amazon Music, Podbean, wherever you want. So just know that. And then I also have here, you can, oh no, sorry, right there. I wrote an article about my experience with Regent when I sailed it in December. So I have a QR code to grab that link so you can read more about our personal experience if you'd like. So you can grab that there. Otherwise, I just want to thank you again, Jodi, for being on, and thank you for your time. I know you're so busy and traveling all the time, but I know that this was so meaningful to everyone. So, and I know it was to me. So thank you again for taking the time to do this with us.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
All right. Thanks, everyone. Have a great day.